The British pound is trading higher against the US dollar and the euro on Tuesday after the announcement that Rishi Sunak would replace Liz Truss as UK Prime Minister. Sunak will be formally confirmed as the country's new leader today amid a period of economic turbulence. The country is grappling with a worsening economic picture following the chaotic fallout from Truss's September mini-budget. And analysts are talking about a national health service in disarray, schools unable to spend as much as they should, inflation eating away at purchasing power, a predicted recession, and again, finally, an energy crisis on the horizon as well. But Sunak is credited with steering the UK economy through the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and is broadly seen as a safe pair of fiscal hands. For more on this now, let's go to Jameel Ahmad, who is investment strategist at Alpari in Dubai. Jameel, many thanks for being with us today. So we've seen the market reaction, and things have been very tumultuous for the local economy. It's been kind of difficult for the UK to actually stay away from headlines. So what sort of reaction do you expect, but not only for this week, but for the coming weeks as well?
You're right to point out that the reaction has been somewhat muted after Sunak was confirmed as the Prime Minister yesterday and expected to be, formally announced over the coming hours. And essentially, the reason for the caution is because this is seen as twofold. One, it's the last throw of the dice of the Conservative Party. This is the third Prime Minister in just a matter of weeks. Secondly, there's a need for caution because economic surveys already shown that the UK has fallen into recession, and this should be confirmed over the coming weeks. Secondly, business confidence has dropped dramatically in the United Kingdom. We see business confidence being the lowest levels since the late 1990s. At the same time, we're only just over a week away from the Bank of England being expected to raise interest rates by the highest level at the fastest pace since the early 1990s. We're expecting an interest rate increase in the UK by somewhere between 75 basis points and 100 basis points, which resonates to 0.75% or 1% because of the economic turmoil over the past couple of weeks. And because of this, I maintain the same narrative. The British pound, US dollar, if we can remain above 110, it's seen as optimistic when you consider all those headwinds that I've just announced, plus more. At the same time, the devil is very much in the detail, and investors need to see clarity on what strategy the new UK Prime Minister will put into place to help the UK economy through this fragile time.
Right, absolutely, Jameel. And speaking about the strategy, I mean, we know that Sunak will have to raise taxes and cut spending, which in turn will create further rumblings for the economy. What do you think the priorities are right now? Because we talked about an energy crisis, but also inflation, problems at the NHS, at public schools as well.
From the markets and the investor standpoint, the priority is very much to provide forward guidance, clear planning and clear communication. In fact, it was the calamity of what happened late September and the surprise that all of the very sudden changes of the strategy, which has resulted in the pound falling to, the record low of 1.03 against the US dollar. Now, we're significantly above that now, but there's still, challenging times ahead. We can't, dismiss the analogy that the UK economy is very much stuck between a rock and a hard place now because the international community are very much aware, especially from an investor standpoint, of how fragile the UK markets and UK asset classes have been over the past month. At the same time, the data points out that UK inflation is at its highest level in 40 years. At the same point, as you rightly point out, the new cabinet need to raise money because the UK government debt to GDP on a net basis is at its highest level since the 1960s, at just above 90%. So there's a lot of questions that investors have, but we don't have the answers yet. And it's those answers and the communication of the strategy that is really going to evolve whether the pound can, maintain above 110 against the US dollar, or whether we do go back to those lows late September.
Absolutely. It's been also difficult for the UK economy to stay away from headlines these weeks. Jameel Ahmad, many thanks for your update.